Hey everybody, this is Strategywizard again, and this is my son Nathan.
Hello.
Today we're going to be doing a review of Ultimate Warriors. This is designed by a guy, what was his name? Guillaume Blossier, I will never remember that. And, sorry for Guillaume. It's just not a name that I want to remember very well. It's 8+ on the age, which I think is pretty accurate. Nathan is almost 7. He does a pretty good job at it, but he needs a little bit of help. So yeah, that fits. And then it's 2 to 8 players, 30 minutes long. So 2 to 8 players is pretty awesome. That's a wide range. So if you have a bunch of people who want to play a game that's relatively quick, bam. And if you like throwing dice and combat and in-your-face kind of stuff, this game may be for you. So did I say that it was published by Matagot? I probably didn't. Matagot is a publisher that I really enjoy a lot of the games that they've published. So at least, well, I say that, but several of them. I have a few up, and I've liked all of them. So the question is, does this one also meet that standard? This is, I've heard it's similar to King of Tokyo, and as if you've watched my review, you know I like King of Tokyo. The question is this as good? Is it better? Is it worse? We'll find out. Let's go to the table and we'll talk about it. Okay, so this is what Ultimate Warriors looks like whenever it's set up for 4 players. We've got someone playing Burdock, the man lion. We've got Cactus, the orc. We have Zamakulkus, the dragon, and we have Baobab, the tree monster. And every character, they're going to have their standee, which everyone's going to take turns placing them in the arena. The arena has a total of 7 spaces, 6 in the outer ring and 1 big center space in the middle. So no one is ever more than 2 spaces apart, because you can always just go 1, 2 to get across. And then the actual arena itself is the box flipped upside down, and then with these cardboard pieces put in the between the walls of the box to give this kind of really cool 3D dimensional look, which is it's really nice for this arena type battle. So everyone's going to get their character card, which tells how many hearts you have, which this stack right here and this big token are. That's also a way of seeing how many hearts you have, but you'll be losing them over the course of the game, of course. It also shows how big you are, which is the equivalent of the hearts, but that's a nice little thing to help you remember in certain cases. And then you also have a defensive value at the top right. The bigger monsters that have more health have lower defense, which is based on the dice. That's their defensive value is how many dice pips you have to roll to do damage. So in the case of the dragon and Baobab, they have 2 defense right now. If you would roll 2 or higher with any die, you would do 1 damage. So, but in my case, the cactus has 4, so you have to roll 4, 5, or 6 to get a hit, and then the burdock 3, 4, 5, or 6. So basically, the more health you have, the easier it is to get hits in general. Now, you also have a lucky charm for each character, which does an identical action, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. Everyone has shares the round track, which you'll slide this little arrow as you go along. You'll notice these rocks right here. In the first 3 rounds, basically, if anyone dies this early, the audience who is observing this clash of titans, if you will they'll throw rocks at the person who killed someone too quickly because they want to see an exciting battle. They don't want it to go over too quickly.
So basically, they're going to hurt you.
Yeah, they're going to try to hurt you. They may or may not succeed because they're going to roll dice as if it was a ranged attack, but there's a good chance you could get hurt. So you have an incentive, which is good in a game that has player elimination. There's an incentive to not eliminate someone too quickly. Now, and you might also have some little extra special tokens for your special cards. Now, the way the game actually works is very straightforward. Each character is going to have a bunch of cards. I've already got 1 down for everyone as it is, but there's 1 through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And all these cards give you different actions that you will do from attacking and moving, maybe a special ability. Now, since they go 1 through 8, 8 moves faster, 1 is the slowest. So what you'll do is someone will start off by announcing, and I'll do it right now, 8, 7, wait, do I have that? 6. Okay, Cactus has 6, so he'll say, oh, that's me. You place your card over your first card's going to go over your character card, and in subsequent turns, you'll continue to cover up your card so that the active card is the one that shows up. It will update your defense, which is what's most important about that. So now, well, it didn't change my defense in this case, but some cards will. So now, I can move one, and I'll just go ahead and show this card up close so you can see all the icons. But you have movement, how many spaces you can move, how many dice you will roll in a melee attack, and then how many dice you can roll in a ranged attack. In this case, I have a special ability, which I will do shortly. So in this case, I'm doing a melee attack. I can move once, and you can attack before, after, or during your movement. In my case, a melee attack has to be done in the same space as someone else, so I have to move over here to fight Burdock. So I move there, and then I will take 2 dice, and I will roll them, and hopefully defeat, well, not defeat him, but I'll try to hurt Burdock. Oh, and I have the special ability that lets me roll 3 dice up front, and if the sum of these dice is equivalent to the size of my opponent, their defense goes down by 2 for this attack. In my case, I rolled a total of 6, which is not enough for his size of 9. So, too bad, so sad for me. But I still get to roll 2 dice in a melee attack. If I get 3 or higher, I get a hit. I got 2 1s. That was not a hit. But let's just say I rolled a 5 and a 3. Those would both be hits. I would claim the first big heart, which has a 3 points on the back. So Cactus would take that, and then you would get a regular one that's just worth 1 point. The initial hit you get on anybody is worth 3 points. So now we continue, and we'd say, that was 6, 5.
5. That's me.
Okay, so Zamioculcus is activating. He puts his card here. His defense went from 2 to 3, so he's harder to hurt now. So what do you get to do?
I get to roll 5 dice.
And you roll 5 dice as a ranged attack.
And I move.
He can move first or not, but in this case he wants to shoot. Now here's the thing. Whenever you shoot, if you shoot 2 spaces away, all of your dice get a subtraction of 1. But if you shoot someone who is next to him, then he gets the full points on each die. So go ahead and roll.
Let's see what I've got.
Who are you attacking, by the way? Cactus or Burdock?
Burdock.
Okay. Oop, here, just take this one. Okay, so he rolled 4, 3, 2, and 2. 4 and 3 is enough to get a hit, so 2 hits on Burdock, he gets 2 points. Okay, so now we move on to the next number. That was 5. We go 4, which is not me. 3, 2. So now Baobab's going to get to go. And what do you get to do with him?
I get to do 5 range attack again.
Okay, but in this case he has no movement, so he cannot move closer. So no matter who he attacks, he can attack any of us, but no matter who he attacks, he's going to subtract 1 from his roll. So who would you attack in this case?
I'll attack that lion right there.
Okay, he wants to kill Burdock for whatever reason. Really doesn't like him at all. Lions must not be your favorite animal.
No, they're one of my favorites.
Yeah, favorite to kill. Okay, so you got... Oops.
I've got, let's see, 3... I've only got 1 hit.
Okay, only 1 hit out of all those dice. How lucky. So 1 point goes to Baobab.
Yeah!
So basically, that's how this game works. Then after that, you move the round tracker forward. Then everyone will simultaneously... Oh, I'm sorry. I should go ahead and say 1 for Burdock, which in his case, he moves 0, but he has 6 dice in melee, and I happen to still be with Cactus, so I can go ahead and really cream him. And not only that, but I have this special ability which lets me use these tokens. If I hurt him, I give him this -2, and I would get a +2. That's if I hurt him, and that will make it to where his next action gets -2 initiative, but mine will get +2. So that's pretty awesome. So I would roll 6. In this case, he has 4 defense. I got 2 4s, a 5, and a 6, and then a 2 and a 3. So I would get 4 hits. I would get his big 3-point marker and 3 of these. So again, going back to what I was trying to say before, then you move the round tracker forward, and everyone will choose simultaneously and secretly another card, and they'll activate in turn order as usual.
Here's your points.
Oh, I didn't hurt you.
No.
I hurt Cactus. But yeah, if I would have attacked Baobab, I would have taken his hearts. And essentially, you're just going around trying to attack each other, eliminate each other, doing ranged and melee attacks, and different cards do different things. For example, some cards actually have both melee and range, and you can do both if you can.
Why did you attack the wrong guy?
we're not playing teams right here.
Oh.
Oh, well, I should mention that Nathan was just asking why I attacked Cactus, because we've played where there's a few ways you can play, and we have played both ways. And the last way we played was as teams. Whenever you play in teams, you will actually have up to 4. If you're playing 2 players, you can have a team of 4 against a team of 4. We played 2 against 2, and so Nathan's thinking that we're playing teams. But I was actually wanting to do this as if there were 4 separate players. But the point is, you can play as teams, in which case both of my guys would be going after his guys. And that way you can kind of mix it up. If you are unsatisfied with just having one character, you can play. Let's say you have 4 players. It could be 4 players controlling 2 characters, because you can go all the way up to 8. So there's 8 characters. You can mix up the teams however you want that way. So anyway, you're going to continue going around until either the last round, the 7th round, is over and no one's dead, in which case you total up your points. Or if you're the last man standing, then you automatically win, which has happened before. I've seen it go a few ways. I've seen someone be the last man standing, and I've also seen it where the time runs out before everyone dies. So you never know what's going to happen in this game. And it's fairly quick either way, as you can see, because you're just choosing your cards, going through the cycle of 8 to 1, and everyone reveals, and they do their moves, and then they move on. Now, the only other thing that I don't think I've covered is these little tokens here. Everyone has one, and the artwork is different for everybody, which is nice. Basically, all of their charms do the same thing.
They just look different.
They just look different, just to be thematic. And this token is for one of Baobab's cards, just FYI, which makes it to where somebody can't attack that person that he gives it to, cannot attack him for their next action.
It's not for anyone else, just himself.
Yeah, only Baobab has that token. So everyone has 2 cards that have special abilities, and all the other ones don't have any special abilities. They just have different variations of move and attack and whatnot. But these tokens here, which the back side actually shows the character's face, which is handy. That way you don't have to remember exactly which one's which. But basically what this does, whenever someone attacks you, you can turn it over to expend it, and you can either make them take one of their dice that they roll to attack you, and you can flip it to the opposite side, meaning a 6 would become a 1, a 5 would become a 2, and a 4 would become a 3. You wouldn't want to go the other way because you don't want it to get bigger. Or you can make them re-roll up to 3 dice that they rolled. So if they got a lot of hits, you can make them re-roll it and hope that they don't get so many hits. But that's a one-time thing that you can use to kind of mitigate the luck in this game, because obviously there's a lot of luck. It's just you're rolling these dice, and you could get a lot of hits, you could do really bad. And this is the one time that you have to really save yourself, basically. And that's pretty much it. So that's how you play. Is there anything else that you want to mention about how to play before we go to our opinion?
No, thank you.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and go back up, and we will tell you what we think about Ultimate Warriorz. Okay, so now that we know how to play, what do we think? First of all, component quality, Nathan. What do you think about the components, the pieces, the cards, all that good stuff?
I think they're very good quality.
Very good quality?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what in particular are you referring to?
The cards, just everything.
Yeah, I mean, the cards, they look great. The artwork is very fun, and they're big cards. I mean, they're little oversized cards, which is cool. I like how big they are. There's a lot of great artwork and everything.
And the hearts, they make that little too... It might be a little too little, but I think that's okay.
Yeah, and the fact that they're multifunctional is showing hearts and victory points. I really like that. And they're pretty thick, so they're pretty sturdy.
I also like the back of them. I mean, how this shows the back and then it shows the front.
Yeah, that's right, because each character, you know, King of Tokyo... not that we have to always compare this to King of Tokyo, even though it is similar, so I will. But in King of Tokyo, both sides showed the front of the monster either way. But this one, you can see the front, and then you get to see the back. And I think that is nice, because
I think it's better.
It gives you that arena feel like you are the audience. You're watching. You're seeing them move over to attack this person. And I don't know, it's just a nice touch. You agree?
I agree.
But I will say this. For the bigger monsters, the little bitty stands that they give you, the stand is maybe just a little too small because it's a little wobbly.
And it's a little silly. I mean, for a big guy, just for that tiny little thing to hold him.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it was bigger, but that's not a deal breaker.
At least we get something.
Exactly. It's better than nothing. But this is the part that I think is really nice, is the fact that the box is the arena.
Because even though it doesn't seem like much, because you're like, that's nothing.
Yeah, I was very surprised whenever I did my unboxing and found that what looked like was the back of the box was actually just a little sheet of paper that they stuck behind
so
there.
you're like, oh, that's silly, but then you're like, oh, that's actually the unwinded. That's great.
Yeah, it makes it's just a really cool concept, and it's a great way to actually minimize the components. You don't have to have a board. The box itself is the board, so that's kind of cool.
And it makes it easier to set up. Not something that takes a long time to set up.
And so far, I don't feel like that this is going to damage anything over time. It seems like it's well made enough, so it's easy and quick to make the arena. And of course,
I like the arena. I mean, it looks so good inside.
Yeah, you got you got the torches and everything, really cool looking. But here's the thing: you don't have to put the pillars on there if you don't want to. You can just flip it over, put your guys, and start playing if you feel like that's getting in the way.
But usually, I like using the pillars. It makes it look more cool.
Yeah, I do too. I like that a lot. It's pretty awesome. So components, great. I think they're awesome. Nothing to complain about really, other than just those tiny little plastic stands. The dice, I don't have a problem with them. I think they're just basic. There's nothing special about them.
Yeah.
But they are engraved, so that's good.
Sometimes we just use our other dice, but sometimes we'll use this one too.
Yeah, they're rounded corners and everything, so they get the job done.
Yeah.
They're adequate for the job.
But they're just kind of boring, but they do the job.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about replayability. Is this the kind of game that you could see yourself playing several times and always having fun?
I can do that.
You think so?
I think so.
And why do you think playing it's still fun each time you play it?
Because I just think it's a very good game, very cool, and you get to pick which cards you want because you're like, ooh, that looks good, but I'll have to use that for the next turn, or, ooh, this is great. I mean, I like that.
Having to choose which cards you want. Do you want to take a chance on doing a melee attack?
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, I have failed in a melee attack because even with being able to move one space, because everyone ended up being 2 spaces away by the time I was able to take my turn.
Sometimes that happened to me.
And it's fun in a lot, even whenever that happens, because you feel like with only up to 2 spaces away, well, you'll always be able to hit somebody, but that's not the case. Sometimes 2 spaces away is too far because a lot of these cards have 0 movement. And even with 1 movement, if you're 2 spaces away and it's a melee attack you're trying to do, 1 movement is not enough. So it's cool that they make it to where something with so few spaces to move around, those 2 spaces can make a big difference. And replayability, I agree. It's very replayable because not only can you pick different characters, there's 8 different characters, which is a lot, and they each have...
And we still haven't played all the characters yet.
Yeah, we haven't played all the characters yet, and they all have their own special abilities. Everyone has 2 cards that have some kind of special attack or whatever, which is cool. So you want to play each character, and the thing is, it's basically... Everyone is in a sequence of high HP, lower, but the lower the HP, the higher the defense. So you're kind of taking a risk when you go for the low HP characters because even though they have a lot of defense, if your opponent gets lucky with the dice, you will die quickly. So you have that tension and that variability. Replayability is awesome. Now, strategy-wise, do you feel like you have enough choices to make it fun?
I feel like I have enough choices.
In what way? What choices do you feel like you have?
I mean, cards... Lucky Charms. I mean, I think those choices are good. You can choose what you want.
Yeah, you choose what cards you want to play. You get to choose when you want to try to use your Lucky Charm.
And you can choose when you want to kill somebody, kind of.
Yeah, you can. That's one of the things that sets this apart from King of Tokyo. Here, you are...
trying to make it in time before they hit walks at you.
Well, yeah, you don't want to kill anyone too quick because you could get hurt by the audience because they don't want to see the battle end too fast. But also... in King of Tokyo, if whichever monster goes into Tokyo, each person is attacking that person, or the person who's in Tokyo is attacking everybody else. Here, it's different because you can always choose who you go after, and you can talk to people about, hey, you need to go after that guy, don't go after me. You can gang up on people in this one, unlike in King of Tokyo. In King of Tokyo, you don't have a choice of who you attack. You're either attacking the person that's in Tokyo, or they're attacking everybody else. So that is a humongous difference, and strategically it matters because you almost get to a point where the more players you have, the more negotiation you have. Hey, I want to attack you next turn if you will go after this guy right now instead of me. And you can try to, get people to do things, manipulate them or whatever, which I think is a fun addition that this adds that makes it significantly different than King of Tokyo. So strategically, I think it adds elements that are really awesome, like the negotiation aspect and the fact that, you know, your cards, the characters are all different. All that works. So, yeah, there's a lot of replayability, a lot of strategy to go around, so I like it. Now, what do you think about the game itself? What is your review?
What do you mean by review again?
Your score. What score do you want to give it?
I would say this is the best game I ever played so far. It's 100 out of my 100.
At 100 out of 100.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that pretty much sums it up. This is his favorite. Now, I'm going to say this.
That's as far as I can go, too.
That's as far as you can go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to him, this is the best. Now, I will say this. I don't think it's that good. I think I would probably give this an 8 out of 10, which,
and
of course...
you can still do 80 out of 80 or something. If you want.
Yeah. The thing is, the reason why I give this 8 out of 10 and not higher... Really, the reason why this isn't higher, and 8's great, by the way, of course, that means that I suggest this game for sure, and I like playing it. I look forward to playing it, but the reason why it doesn't go higher is because the dice do have a little too much control for my taste. It's because you can get a really unlucky roll whenever you know you should, on average, based on statistics, you should get a lot of hits. You may not get them, or you might have a high defense with your low HP character and go, oh, they're not going to get many hits, and they could get lucky and they could crush you real quick. So that's and the only way to mitigate that luck is that one little token that, you know, you can use to make them do a reroll or flip one die upside down. So that keeps me from putting it up higher. But in spite of this, and I'm not a big fan of dice whenever so much luck revolves on it, but the reason why it still stays as high as it does is because I enjoy how quick it is. It's not a game where it's like Risk, where you're just rolling dice and it takes forever and the dice are just making you miserable. Here, yeah, you might have some bad luck at one point, but since there's usually other players in a two-player game, it could get you could get really unlucky, I guess. But I haven't had that experience. I've played two players, and so far it's been pretty reasonable and balanced. But
Three players is better.
Yeah, the more players you have, I think it gets better, because then you have that negotiation aspect where if someone is getting unlucky, people can start picking on someone else, but at the same time, you might have people who like to pick on the person who's dying. So that's up to you to decide on your...
What I don't like about this game, too, is that it's not enough players because it's for 8 to 2, 2 to 8, and there's not enough space for them.
Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 7 spaces, which means I think the rules actually say in an 8-player game, 2 people will be in the center. So that's just the way that goes. But after that, of course, so it's okay. That actually is okay.
Okay.
But the thing is, like I say, I like it a lot. It's great. I wish the dice didn't have as much control as they do, but since it is so quick, and I feel like there's enough interesting stuff going on with choosing the cards. This is the mitigation that you can do, is controlling if you're going to try to move away, or you're going to try to go fast and raise your defense or whatever. You have ways of controlling things enough to where the dice don't totally govern what happens. So 8 out of 10 for me, 100 out of 100 for Nathan. We both really enjoy it. Glad I got it. Matagot's doing good for me. I like him a lot. As far as that goes, leave in the comments down below. Do you agree or disagree? Have any questions, comments, whatever? Let us know. If you enjoyed the video, we'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. That'd be awesome. And we look forward to seeing you on the next video. So, we'll see you then.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.